that when you hear them, you either get a positive sense or you get a negative sense. When you hear somebody say, he has an attitude, what do you get? Many times, they are referring to a negative attitude. Yet the word attitude is a neutral word. You can have a positive attitude, you can have a negative attitude. Today, our topic is looking at another word that often falls in that kind of category. The word ego. When you hear somebody say, that man, he is disturbed by his ego, what do you understand? Often, it has negative connotations. But is the word ego negative or positive? Or it is neutral, and there is a good ego and a bad ego? You are very welcome to the Inspired Family Leader program with Samuel A. Bakutana, your host, a certified executive coach, an award-winning leadership consultant, a global speaker and author, the CEO of Inspired Leaders International, and the provincial president of the Fathers Union. This Inspired Family Leader program exists to equip, challenge, and inspire men to expand their family leadership capacity for national transformation. Today in studio, we are going to be talking about the hidden cost of ego in family leadership. The hidden cost of ego in family leadership. And with me is none other than a fellow husband, a fellow father, an inspired speaker, an inspired leader, my brother, my friend, none other than SSP, Senior Superintendent of Police, Afande Jackson Mucunguzi, who happens to be a senior officer at the Directorate of the Human Resource Development, dealing with the development of curriculum and doctrine at the Uganda Police Force. My brother Afande, you're welcome.
Thank you very much, my historical comrade, my elder brother, and at the same time, my president of the Fathers Union, Sam A. Bakutana. He's always emphasizing that. Thank you.
It's good to see you today. You're very welcome to this program.
I'm most honored, and I say victory belongs to Jesus.
Indeed.
Indeed.
You mean the security people also, they talk about Jesus, those things of Jesus? I thought for you it's something different.
The Bible is always clear that when we guard the city without God, we would have guarded in vain. So we are the first pioneers of God, and we talk about God because without God, you cannot do anything serious.
And that's Psalm 127 verse 1, that unless God guards a city, the security people are guarding it in vain.
Hallelujah.
Wow. So, go right ahead and introduce yourself to our viewers.
Good evening, viewers. As Sam said, I'm a senior superintendent of police, Jackson Mucunguzi, a father and a dear husband to one beautiful, wonderful woman whom I normally say she's the best in Kampala Metropolitan and Extra. And God has blessed us with 3 beautiful daughters. And I'm a senior police officer, as they have told you. I sit at police headquarters. And on a daily basis, I deal with development of curriculum and the doctrine. We are developing a police doctrine because it is going to be the first of its kind, which defines on who is an ideal professional police officer. So I'm here today in a capacity of family building, and I'm glad that my children, my daughters, and my dear wife they are watching me. God bless you.
Great. And I was glad to meet them today as we were coming into the studio. They are not far away from where we are seated right now. So, Mrs. Mucunguzi and your 2 children, where you are seated, we thank you for being here with us, not far away from the studio. So today we are talking about the hidden cost of ego in family leadership.
Yes.
I want us to begin from the key issues here, the key word. The key word here is ego. Generally speaking, what is ego?
Thank you very much, Mr. Sam Bakutana. For those who could be there, the ego that we are discussing today is not that bird that flies far, but rather a behavior, as you are saying, a behavior of where you find somebody saying you, this person is full of attitude, he feels himself. So ego is a grandfather of that wild animal that has disorganized most men, and they have committed a lot. So that act or behavior, psychological behavior of self-importance, feeling that you have reached there, you are alpha and omega, you are unquestionable, that once you say nobody should talk, those are components of the today's topic called ego.
Okay, so what I'm hearing, therefore, I am picking out that aspect of a sense of self-importance.
Yes.
And that makes me want to ask, since ego has something to do with a sense of self-importance, a sense of self-esteem, a sense of self-worth, is ego bad or good?
Of course, from the religious point of view, to me, if you have too much ego, it is very bad.
Also, the problem is having too much.
Too much. The levels matter.
Oh,
when
so
I
ego
was,
is okay, but the problem is having too much ego.
Because you see, it is part of the life.
Yes.
Much as you can be jolly, you can be annoyed, you can also have some ego, but having too much of it is very dangerous and evil that any Christian should avoid. And
How about a Muslim?
Okay, even a Muslim, any human being should avoid being egoistic because it misleads, it is very dangerous, self-glorification, here you see my net worth is like this, you presume that maybe you are now calculating the net worth of yourself, and it is very dangerous that we should
know. And you feel you are worth billions of dollars. And
when actually, you are in a developing country. So how do you say?
I remember in our home place, we used to have a gentleman. He had produced 7 sons. So every time he would be coming at night, coming from the bar, drunk, and making the noise of a drunkard man. He would say, "You touch me, and my 7 dogs will eat you." That's what he used to call his sons.
Really?
And I think that
is the negative ego, with ego that we are talking.
A negative inflated ego.
Inflated ego.
Yes.
You should always avoid anything in extreme because it is very dangerous. It becomes even a psychological issue.
Indeed.
Like this one, when you are not conscious of what you are saying, you are very unconscious, you are just there, and you don't know the audience you are talking to. You are saying you're a billionaire when you are seated with Sudhir, with Bill Gates.
You have not yet paid.
You have not even paid. They say, look at this imposter. So ego is very dangerous to me, and we should avoid the extremes.
Now that you're talking about the extremes and you're talking about those few examples you've just shared, maybe go right ahead and tell us what are some of the signs of a negative inflated ego, especially in a man's life. How do I look at a man, a family leader, and I tell that this one's ego is really inflated and negative? What are the signs?
Okay, thank you very much, Sam. And I will apologize to those whom I'm talking who could be the suspect of these signs of a person full of ego.
We are here to help
yeah,
you should
so,
not even apologize
okay,
to them.
Number one,
help them.
A person who says, I know it all. That once I talk, nobody should talk.
I know it all.
I know it all. And my word is final. Some men at home, when they reach there, they say, once I talk, nobody should discuss. And I forget that, you see, in this family, we are not there as competitors. It is not a war zone.
It's not competition.
It is not competition. It is rather a game of shareholders.
It's completion of
one another. We are stakeholders and shareholders. And therefore, you must listen to the other partner. For example, I always seek opinion of my daughter. Professor Gwene Magezi, 9 years, the one who became the little Miss Wildlife and Popularity. As you are talking,
interesting. I saw the whole process of the voting and all
so that. So as I'm here, I'm now Tata Princess. So I normally ask, like even for the young one,
Yes.
General Kanzarakishi, I say, today we want to have fish. What do you say? And her mind will also contribute. She can say, we have overeaten too much. The other day she said, no, not every time daddy you bring here fish. We now want, for example, dried fish. So most people, those who say, once I have said,
Yes.
it is over.
But aren't there moments when you have to have the final word as the head of the family?
Absolutely.
After there is that conversation, you have a final word on some things.
Yeah, the Bible tells us that a man is born a leader, and therefore you get the opinion of those who follow you. And that's why I normally have a complaint on those people who seek for divorce.
Yes.
Fine. The moment you go and seek for divorce, you have literally said, I've failed my leadership.
Sure.
And I'm handing over. So how can you hand over an institution where God is the CEO?
And you are the one
And
who's
you
been
are just
leading.
there. You should be charged of treason. Because you are failing to
Have
do
you
your
had
obligation.
brothers, if you seek divorce,
Yes.
you have neglected your duty, you have left your responsibility, you are declaring that you have failed, and you
Yes.
should be charged for.
Treason. Because you have betrayed your family and
But
you know.
what if my wife is about to kill me? It's not only that that when I have failed, maybe
General
my
Napoleon.
spouse has failed me.
General Napoleon once said that there are no bad men
Yes.
in war, but we have bad commanders.
Okay.
So the moment you ask for divorce, you are a bad commander because that woman is supposed to be under you to help you. I shall help you. I shall give you a helper. And the psychology says that these helpers, usually they are believed to be more intellectually, by the way, brighter than us.
Isn't that debatable?
It is debatable, but me, I believe in it, that the moment you entrust them,
Yes.
you empower them, you support them, you are there to be responsible for all.
Okay, so I know
one,
it
I know
all is
it
one
all.
sign, my
Number
word is
two,
final,
where is the
is
final?
another.
There is another one, criticizing all the time.
Okay.
A man who sees negative in everything,
Yes.
you are egoistic, and therefore you should avoid. The Bible says that it is only God who is Alpha and Omega. But any person who is putting on flesh, you must accept that really you don't know anything. Okay, you know something, but you are not
You
final.
have to always be criticizing what
Criticize,
the other person is doing, being very negative.
Yes, I remember when I was doing one of the public speaking with the Inspired International School of where Mr. Sam Bakutana is the CEO. He told us that always endeavor to add value
Yes.
to the generation. Do not occupy space.
Yeah.
Why do you see negative in everything? The moment you see Mucunguzi, you have seen something negative. You don't expect something good from them. No wonder people study up to PhD level,
Yes.
and they know too much on something small.
About too little.
So who are you to say that you see? For me, I know it all,
Yes.
and my word is always like that. So people
You
who
have to end
criticize,
up criticizing everything.
yes, that's why they normally tell us that never you criticize your spouse in public, but rather defend her. And when you go back in the bedroom, you
You
say,
say
"Is it
it
true?" My mother was telling me that you are a bad person. You have
Yes.
we have done ABCD. It is your duty as a man to defend your spouse in public.
I even heard another one say
Yes.
that don't be too judgmental of your wife's choices because you are one of them.
Yes,
You are one of the choices.
of the choices that she made. If you say, for example, even I remember one day you were preaching, you told us that the words you confess unto your spouse are the
They
words
become
that
reality.
become a reality. If you stand up and you say, you look at this dog, it means for you, you are like a wild dog, because a wild dog can marry a dog. So always say good things so that you can be okay. Then another character, another sign
of a negative ego.
a person who is too rigged. That for you, once you have said A, it is A. What if you are saying A in a wrong way? The people who are always rigged, they are always egoistic, and it is believed that you need to be flexible.
Yes.
You know, the best medicine for ego is to be flexible. Yes, you were suggesting like this. You were proposing like this.
Yeah.
But for you, don't say that my point is this. Even in courts of law, when you have something, they say you go and reconcile before I make the final judgment.
Yes.
But you find somebody has already, before you even greet somebody, he has already given the answer.
Yeah, in fact, in Uganda currently, there is a huge emphasis on ADR, alternative dispute resolution.
Yes.
Recently, we had the first ever high-level national alternative dispute resolution summit by the Judiciary of Uganda and Pepperdine University in the US for 2 days, having many judges and lawyers and etc. And Uganda is now looking at going into conciliation, mediation, you know, all that, so that we don't always look at the adversarial court system where you have to fight and fight and fight and tussle it out and see who wins, but you can settle matters outside the court.
Yes. And that one goes with humility, because you see at the end of the day, these judges and even those students of conflict management, I am a graduate of peace and security conflict management, they tell us that alternative resolution of that one, going out and apologize. Because you see, human beings, we are full of feelings. You may find that you committed a crime when you are not aware. You know, they are actually, to me, they are 4 wild animals that have killed man. And number one is this grandfather we are talking about, ego. This ego can make you do some mistakes that you cannot believe, as we shall discuss later. Another wild animal that is killing us is pride. Pride. Some people are naturally proud.
Naturally?
Yes, you find
it a natural thing, or it's an acquired thing?
It's a man-made character. That for me, and there are those who even glorify ignorance. That for me, there is a woman who amused me, said, that I can abuse. And she was proud of it. Then I told her, can you add it on your CV? So that we know, in case one day Uganda needs somebody who has expertise in abusing, we hire you.
We have your name in the database.
You find somebody is celebrating that me, I can eat 30 chapats at a go. Really? That is the pride and the ignorance that we are talking about. Then another wild animal that is finishing us, ignorance. You find somebody is there glorifying his ignorance. He doesn't know, and he's talking. I normally see some people on the TV that for them, they know any topic they bring about. He has not read anything. It is some who you normally tell us that if you want to be a leader, then read a lot.
Exactly. Leaders are readers.
Yeah, readers.
Readers become leaders.
So those people who think that they know everything, when there is an incident, I even of recent started to see people who are called security experts. You had never gone even for Mchaka, but you are a security expert. So you are suffering from ego. And therefore we need to see how best we can help
those
you.
are the self-educated
Self-educated
guys.
Maybe
sometimes you can really learn a lot through self-education.
And
Jim Rohn says formal education will make you and will earn you an income, but self-education will earn you a fortune. There are people who are earning fortunes through self-education.
Self-education. Therefore we wish them success, but they should know on international level they are really a problem, and somebody can see them.
Academic documents.
Yes. Another characteristic we are talking about, signs of a negative evil. A person with severe mood swings.
Oh.
Yes, that one is very dangerous. That for me, I'm like weather. In the morning I was hot, in the afternoon.
Especially Ugandan weather.
Kampala weather.
Countries, they have seasons here.
I'm telling you, we don't know. You are in Kajas coming, it is raining. Here in Kampala, it is shining. So those people who are full of mood swings, psychologically, they tell us that they are full of ego, and it is very dangerous. You need to be careful.
They just have problems, like you find you are going through a lot in life, and so as a result,
no. It's high time, and those people are always full of competition. You find that they are competing to have this and this. Highly competitive, which is very dangerous. You know, there is one time
the capitalistic economy runs on competition.
On competition, but I usually ask that how much is too much. You find that you are losing your integrity, you are losing your family at the expense of grabbing these earthly things. I normally call them earthly things.
You use that phrase a lot.
Yeah, you see, when all is gone, I normally tell people, when all is gone, east to west, home is the best. But the question is, are you present and intention at home? I call upon all fathers, and they normally hide themselves in this ego thing of commanding. When you reach at home, you stop from being a CEO,
Yeah.
you stop from being a
Consultant.
senior superintendent, a consultant, but become a father of prosper,
The husband
and
of
the
charity.
husband of charity, the watermelon. These days, you know, I copy from
Honorable
you.
Charity.
Honorable charity, watermelon. May I said, Maharaba Zigaba is the best so far. So, but you see, a home is so delicate in that you must make sure that you create it. I was even reading some of the research saying that if you are absent in the lives of your family
As a man.
at the beginning, they will also be absent in your old age. So you need to be.
That's very true.
Yeah, you
And
need
it's
to be
happening a lot,
careful.
by the way. Many
Yes.
old men
Are neglected.
Jackson, they are neglected, they are isolated, they are lonely.
Yes.
Because our children, they learn from us how they should treat us.
Yes.
Yeah, when the child comes and he says, Daddy, I would like to talk with you, and you say, no, I'm busy. Later in life, you will call him when you are 75, and you say, my son, I would like us to meet, and he will also say,
I'm busy.
Because you didn't demonstrate,
the importance
of
of being
availability in a personal relationship.
Yes.
So, the signs, one, I know it all. Number two, when somebody says my word is final. Number three, being too critical and very negative, always chronic negativity, extreme rigidity, and severe mood swings.
And those who have to be appreciated all the time.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, for you, whatever you say, you appreciate me. Tell you say, Vananke.
I hear people always say, Nange munkubire mungalo, clap for me also, clap for me.
That ego, now that is the negative ego that affects them in a positive way. Hey, if you want clap, it's okay. We can clap for you, but all the time, you may get a spouse who is always demanding for appreciation all the time. Yes, it is our duty to make sure that we compliment whenever there is something good and appreciate. One of my family core values is that we believe in appreciating and adding value to each other. Smartness, what? Yes. But when you overdemand them, then you are also having this psychological problem called the ego.
In fact, we shouldn't even demand for
Yes, it should be automatic.
We shouldn't demand. It should come to us. If we deserve it, somebody will give it to us. I know it is a human need. Everybody would like to be appreciated for their effort. But again, going out to say, please appreciate me.
I've given you
it's
appreciate
like these
me.
Primary 7 candidates who
Demand for success card.
Uncle Sam, don't forget send me success card. But you shouldn't be demanding for it. I should think about you and wish you success in your exams. So, when you look at these things that we have talked about, I am here wondering, what are the causes of these kinds of things? What are the causes of negative ego in a man's life? Is it a curse? Is it witchcraft?
It is ideally man-made to me, because when you are intentional and creative about it, you can overcome them.
So what are the causes of the negative ego?
Yeah, before we go to the causes, the final sign I had seen, you know, when I was coming, I shared with my wife, I said, Madam, what do you think are the signs of this wild animal called ego? And she said, men who show off.
Showing off.
Yeah, showing off. Yes. You find when somebody reaches in a place, he wants to be recognized. He comes with bodyguards, some people get, and then he wants to be carried. That person is full of ego. And
I saw somebody who, this one was a preacher on the pulpit preaching on TV. And he said, for me, Zenjagala Mutara, I like to be put on a pedestal. And when I come to your function, and you take 3 minutes before you recognize me, I leave your function. I leave your function.
Yes.
And I think that's what
those are the suspects of today. Ego.
Yeah.
Why would you want to, you know, you have already reached in a place, people who will reach later in church, they know that service starts at 11, they like, come at midnight.
Tomorrow it is starting at 10 at
Kororo for Uncle Onesimus. So we call upon you. If you will come at 11 and you want to be seen, for us we shall be saying this man is suffering, this Christian is suffering from ego. So and one of the causes,
for the sake of time,
cause number one, arrivalism. You have just fallen in things, and you think that you are the first and the last person. Arrivalism in these things.
Is that like a sense of feeling that you have already attained too much? You have arrived at the destination of success.
Yes. Okay. You have been appointed in a public office. For example, police started in 1906. Okay? It means that it has been here over 100 years.
In Uganda.
In Uganda. And then for example, I'm appointed IGP. That is too much. Okay, I'm appointed the commander KMP. And then I feel that I'm going to solve all problems of Kampala. Yeah. That is egoism. You are rivalism that we've been talking. I mean, there are people who have been in that public office. You are not the first to know the last. And that's why I normally tell my colleagues that do more good in that public office than creating enmity. Help, open your door and listen to these people because God is putting you for a purpose. Don't be pompous that me, I'm a DPC, nobody should reach me. Who tells you? You are not the first one. You are supposed to listen because people have been there.
You are not deputy.
You are not
Jesus and the Holy Spirit Junior.
I normally tell them even they don't have a blind copy of land title for Kampala. So if you don't have that, why are you?
So cause number one is
arrivalism.
Cause number two,
emotions.
Yes.
I find that people are full of emotions. You have your problems at home, you bring them in public, which is very dangerous. If I have disagreed with somebody, I know I'm coming here, I need to know how to control my emotions. And when you lack poor communication skills, it's also very paramount. Some people don't know how to communicate effectively. You are going to the talk show where it should be specific. You are the one who taught us this. You say family TV. Family TV is where. You tell them even the channels where it is found. Which channels and what time. So that you are thorough. So poor communication that is full of emotions causes this syndrome, psychological syndrome called the ego, which is the grandfather of attitude, the negative attitude, and that we should always avoid it. Then the environment that we grow in is also another cause.
Family environment.
Family environment, where somebody stays. My father-in-law, whom people call father-in-laws, is an educated man. So he was one time visiting me, and he told me, my son, you see what you tell your children in the beginning is what they will always remember.
Like when they are young.
When they are young.
What you tell them as they are growing up, they will stay with that
thing forever. And he was like, so be intentional in whatever you are doing. Parents, when you want to disagree with your spouse, kindly get a key and go in the bedroom, have the peace talks like the UN, and when you are coming out, you go praising God. I used to see that with our I'm a grandson of Canon. You used to know Mzee Kezechia Kabona. You would find that he's disagreeing with the wife. And then when we come across, I say, Tukute tendereza Yesu. So, and I didn't know that the man diffusing what we are not supposed to hear.
The potential bomb is diffusing.
The environment that we grow in also matters a lot. If you grow up in a place where they compete for food, automatically when you go in public, you will fight for food, for greed, the greed that I was talking to you. If you find that your parents are normally discussing from ignorant point of view, what your father says or your mother, you take it as true gospel. Therefore, you will also inherit ignorant points and you always put it to them. Yes, if you found that you grow up and you saw your mother is always fighting with the father, so afraid fighting in public is not a problem, and all those ones affect us so much.
You will know that that's how things are done.
And yet at times they are done wrongly. So like me, I normally, whenever I go in anyway in any level of responsibility, I learn to listen, and I say, how are things done? I'm a person who believes in the second and third opinion. It doesn't take long calling Sam. He says, Sam, I was about to do this. What do you think? And when he gives you, today you have put a very good thing on your comment, on your, that feedback is a breakfast of the champions. So why you not listen from the, and don't you want to be a champion? Personally, me, every day I endeavor that I should be a person of value. So that when I'm no more, those who will be there will remember that I was a senior police officer who impacted life. So this environment
causes this negative.
Yes. Another thing that causes all this, showing off, the issue of severe moods, all that pretending, manipulation, poverty. You know, poverty is a wild animal that when you are not steady, it can eat you. Okay? I remember one of my good friends, Reverend Joshua Bwebare, you know him. He told us to praise Ahura. So he told us that when they were in primary, they asked, one of the students asked that, what is a lion? And the teacher said, a lion, don't talk about it. It can even come and eat us, because he didn't know it in English. So you can temporarily call it chunchus. So poverty is a lion that once you don't overcome it, it can be dangerous. So I encourage people that we should work hard as fathers. When you have...
I'm shocked. I will tell you I'm shocked. You know
Yes,
why?
yeah.
Because I thought wealth is what would cause an inflated ego, not poverty. Because what makes a poor man feel a sense of self-importance and high esteem? I thought the one who has accumulated wealth, all these kinds of material things, and is driving big cars, is the one who will be tempted to have a very inflated sense of ego.
Yeah,
not the poor one.
I liked your beginning. You said there was a drunkard man.
Yes.
Who you say, touch on me and my dogs eat you. That was poverty, really. That was disturbing the man. Then, as we said, the second question was talking about is ego negative or positive.
Yes.
So even having too much rich and you fail to control it, it is very dangerous. You know, once you fail to control money and it controls you, then you are finished. There are some people who think that they have reached in heaven, and they forget that they are surrounded by people who are doing badly. Once, even if you are too much rich, you also have 24 hours.
Yeah.
Yes, we don't say that I have 36. Me and you and Sudhira and any other rich person around, or Bill Gates, we also breathe on the same 24 hours. So we need to always be conscious that poverty and wealth should not override us and should not take us off the hook, but rather always be careful that humility is golden, and therefore the more we do better, we shall be impacting life than anything. Yeah.
I hear you. These are serious things. You know, this sense of rivalrism, the untamed emotions, uncontrolled emotions, the family environment we grew up in, and even things like poverty, lack, and shortage. These are critical things. Maybe at this moment, this program, we also say it's quite provocative.
Yes.
Allow me now engage that gear. In your personal life, are these things you have also experienced or not? Could you openly share with us maybe one time, one moment, one experience when negative ego disturbed you as a family leader?
Wow.
Because you look so smart in this wonderful attire. You're talking awesomely. You are really like a professor of doctrine and curriculum at Uganda Police Force. Have you ever also struggled with some of these things? One moment when a negative ego somehow disturbed you as a family leader.
Good.
So now course, you are on the spot, hot seat.
Yes, I can feel it. This is time of, since it is a family TV, time of testimonies in the case of... Yes, this wild animal affects all of us actually. Yes. Even I think any human being, including the president, suffers from the same. And this thing, there's one time it go to me. And I at the beginning, I was poor at communication. And accountability. So my wife asked me something, and I was like, you don't ask a commander like that. Commander, by then I was a young DPC, DPC, I have a gun, I have a 9.9, I feel I have reached at home.
Was that when you were at Makerere University?
Wandegea, just here in Wandegea. And
DPC Wandegea.
The woman asked something. I said, never you ask those things. You
don't ask a commander.
And she said, I did not marry a commander. I married Mucunguzi Jackson. I said, you have started. I said, hey, you man, you want to get out of order. I said, hey, you may be a suspect. A war starts from there simply because you don't want. And she said, if you continue like that, me, I will go away.
If you continue like that,
said, what?
Me, I will go away. We are taking a break right now. When we come back, we are going to look at the hidden cost of that kind of a thing in family leadership. Let's take a break. Do live exemplarily, love authentically, and lead relationally. Welcome back to the Inspired Family Leader program with Samuel Bakutana, hosting Senior Superintendent of Police Jackson Mucunguzi of the Uganda Police Force on the topic of the hidden cost of ego in family leadership. When we took a break, We had talked about what ego is. We had looked at the signs of a man who is filled with an inflated negative ego, and we talked about what usually causes that. Right now, let the rubber hit the road. Afande,
Yes, sir.
what is the hidden cost of negative ego in family leadership?
Number one, that we should know that when you are full of ego, it can lead to loss of life.
Loss of life?
Life
For
can
example,
be gone.
when you become violent.
You are short-tempered, you are hot-tempered.
Yes.
You can kill a person, and it will be very dangerous. A lot of property have been destroyed because
Yes.
of ego. You find that somebody gets annoyed, breaks all items at home, and you ask yourself, oh, somebody even says, me, I'm annoyed, let me go in the bar and I drink myself silly.
Yeah.
There is one who knocked and almost killed people
I know
simply
one who
because
left the family and slept in a hotel for 2 weeks.
and
So
whom-
all that money paid.
all that money paid. Because I normally tell people and fellow men that guys, cheating is very expensive, especially to my level. And
Yes.
in case the devil attacks me and I'm supposed to go there, the road you go in, the food you go, and the more women you sleep with, the more misfortune you have. So avoid, because it is very dangerous, simply because you want revenge.
Yeah.
Somebody has said, explain who is this one. Imprisonment. Many people in
Imprisonment,
Ruzra are out of this. You go to them and you say, how did you reach here? Tobusungu bwankwata ni mukubaha.
I became very angry.
Very,
and I
very.
hit
All
her.
your life is spent in prison simply because you are annoyed, and we still have a lot of family breakdown. Many families have broken down because of something small. Our police, family and child protection department
Yes.
of Madam Maureen and at the division and district levels are overwhelmed by cases of family-related issues, and when you go to see into them, they are just full of ego.
Yeah.
You find that some families are just having books at the police station. Really, when you were proposing to your wife, you did not involve police. You did not involve your mother and father. Why are you bringing these people? Learn how to handle. If you got a wrong woman, pray to God and you say, Mukama wange natomera, this is my problem.
Or
And
maybe
you
are the
minister.
wrong man.
If you are a wrong man,
married the right
a
woman.
right woman, and just they help you so that you can overcome all this. The other day there was a report that 14 million Ugandans are suspected to be mentally challenged.
Yeah, yeah.
And what do you think it
Mental
is
health
that? Ego. Huh? We normally, let me
part of
tell
the
you,
problem.
let me tell you some. Most of the jam in Kampala is not caused that many people have cars.
Yes.
Or the roads are small.
The ego.
Just ego
Yes.
of drivers.
I agree
That
with you.
I'm here.
Everybody wants to go fast.
I'm telling you, somebody parks anyhow. These border guys are full of ego, and it is causing us a problem, and we need to see how to can do it. Unemployment is very dangerous. You find there are
Are
some
you saying an inflated ego causes unemployment?
unemployment.
How?
You are at work,
Yes.
you have the first degree, you know it all, but the behaviors.
Yes.
You cannot work with anybody.
Or even you find a job that is not exactly what you were looking for.
Yes.
So you say, I can't do
I
that
cannot
job.
do
It
that.
is below my level. So you stay unemployed as a man. You have a family to look after, but you're saying that job is not my standard.
I remember now, almost a decade back, when I was joining police, somebody told me, my good friend said, don't join the police. Government is going to change tomorrow, and we are going to get good jobs. Suppose I followed his advice, I would be now 13 years unemployed. So that was, I said, you man, leave me, let me join the police. And up to now, for him, he has never got a job, which is very dangerous.
He's waiting
So,
for the
government
to change.
change. When did it change? Yeah, man. We leave that angle. Domestic violence is another thing that has caused the problem. Of recent, the other day, I normally go to family and child protection intentionally as a responsible father to learn.
And as
what
a member
is-
of Fathers
and
Union.
as a member of the Fathers Union. There I thank my sister, Dr. Reverend Lydia
Chitaimba.
Kitaimbwa and John Professor, who enabled me to love these issues of Fathers Union.
Yes.
Domestic violence is the order of the day. I have come to know that there is a concept in marriage called Ursirka, that people go in silence. Then when I heard Ursirka, I said, are you going to get a new bishop or the
Like a
pope?
retreat, yeah.
The retreat that you have a Ursirka in your marriage. My family, please.
So what's that about? Just for everybody to understand
for somebody's
who's watching.
domestic violence.
No, Orsirika.
Orsirika is that there is a moment of silence in marriage when I disagree to talk to my spouse.
Oh, so that's like
We have
silent
treatment.
Okay.
And this one is very dangerous. How can you fail to talk to somebody who is an adult, who is sober, and you solve the problem? Me and my wife, whenever we disagree, we agreed no sleeping before we solve. So you cannot sleep. Whether at 2 a.m. he would say, wake up, who is this one? So you better talk. Then I also say, how did this one go? And when we get that solution, we pray. You pray to God, you say, give me solution. So domestic violence is a result of ego, and out of blue children have been. It is a cost that of and then the expenses, draining the family expenses.
Yeah.
You find that a man is hiding. You are caught there cheating, and the concubine is telling you to sell off your house, to go and withdraw all the money, 10 million ransom. First, you go to your wife and say, Madam, hey, the devil is at work. We have been caught, but if you are not careful, our property is gone. These women are so blessed enough, if you have been friends, that they can help you overcome them. So don't die in a movie alone. Wake up and make sure that you avoid all this. So those are the most leading hidden cost. You can die, you can lose your property, you can imprisoned. You go and you do that. You can even most men, because of ego, they drive long distances. And he doesn't want to ask. You are going to Ginger Road, but you have got to Lost and you don't want to ask. You are now in one day. So after 100 kilometers, you say, hey, Sebo wa boda boda. And where is Ginger Road? Go back. So ego is so dangerous.
And sometimes you find you bypass that motorcyclist
without greeting.
And then when you fail to get the
right direction, you come back. Then you start saying Muko. When you don't know.
I see we just have about 9 minutes to end the program.
Yes.
Ego usually manifests. You've talked about all these things, especially the signs. And I want to add and say ego usually manifests through the misuse of money, the misuse of power,
wonderful,
and the misuse of sex.
Yes.
How are you handling these kinds of life-threatening issues as a husband, as a father, and as a senior police officer?
Good. From the word go, when you are not clear at the beginning of your relationship, you will suffer to explain along the way. So you must be intentional.
So you've been intentional?
I've been intentional in whatever I do, because I know the public is watching.
Yes.
My children are watching. Friends and relatives. No wonder we can be chosen among many people to come and discuss these issues.
Yes.
So, knowing that life has no spare. If you go, no spare parts in Itseka. If you go there and you say, I was asking for liver, and then when you have spent your time in drinking, you will find it. I know that I'm a human being, just putting on this combat and doing police work like any other job, and then life goes on. And when you say money, I'm not a rich person with liquid cash, but rich at heart. And I know that we are in a developing country, third world country. So if you find somebody, boosting around that me, I'm rich. You are rich when you're in a third world country. Rich people are in Canada. You are the best. Oh, the blind among the one eye, the blind. Yes, and another thing that I've known that it is very important, effective communication. Yes, I always be clear. When it is very bad to tell your wife that I've gone for a conference in Mbarara, God forbid an accident gets in Mabira, you would have betrayed yourself. I'm always intentional to make sure that things are okay. Then our family thing that guides us and joins us is being focused but not programmed.
Focused but
not programmed. We are not programmed. I'm responsible for my action in darkness and in the day. I know that anything that I do has a cost that it goes with me.
Yes.
And I see myself as the father of Professor Gwene Magezi and General Kanzara Kishe Ojada. So what am I showing to these wonderful, beautiful girls? So whatever I do, even in police uniform or not in uniform, will come up with me. So that is how, in short, I've managed to be original
Yeah.
Yeah, authentic.
Yourself.
If you meet me Mucunguzi today, that's how I will be. I'm not swing mood. And I think it also has a cost, but I've remained original. In any case, what will it help you? To be in public office, to be a hero outside when you're a zero at home.
Hero outside and zero at home.
I would rather remain a lower man who is a hero at home.
Then you better teach us right now,
Yes.
forward, what can a man practically do in just a minute or so to build a healthy ego as he leads his own family. Maybe some tips. What can a man do to practically build a healthy ego going forward?
If you can realize the signs we have talked above and know that they are dangerous, so you can become a good husband. Be free to discuss your finances with your spouse and be accountable for your actions. It is very paramount and it can help you to do much better. Know that you don't know everything and therefore you can be guided and do much better. Always be intentional and focused in life. It is a very great idea. You are an inspiration to very many people that you don't know, and therefore what you will do negative may come and catch up with you. Be present in the lives of your family, because when you are present in life of your family members, they will also at one time be there.
Yes.
Don't concentrate outside and forget family, because east to west,
home is best.
So
Yeah, I hear you. So success in our professional life and business life is not a substitute for failure in our family leadership.
yeah, that is Samuel, and what he has said, I confirm and I tick.
By the way, what do I do if my wife is the one who is having a very inflated negative ego in our marriage? What do I do as a man? Just in case
Yes.
for me, I'm okay. I am humble, but I have a wife who has this sky-high, inflated, negative sense of self-importance. What do I do as a man?
No,
Because I also see that happening around us.
When you talk to that gender, I even remove the headdress. And I say, I like the selection of the words. You have said, when my wife, not our wife. So you are the one who chose that person. And therefore, as a Christian and a person who believes in positive lifestyle, I say, first of all, pray to God. God, you gave me this helper. She has turned out to be a knife, not a wife. What should I do? So when you pray to God, and then most men, what escalates the situation is that most men, they want to revenge.
Yeah.
And once you want to revenge, you forget that you are the leader. You are the chief priest of this woman. She's under you. Suppose she's a stubborn worker. How do you do? So you need to read hard, pray as you read hard, and then try to leave the opposite side. Any human being who feeds wants to copy the good things. No wonder when even a thief is caught, he said, God help me. But you are a killer. So anybody who wakes up, I think courtesy and humility continues to help us to be good husbands and to have even the good. Then you can seek even the counseling session.
Yes.
Hey, go to Sam and you say, Mr. Sam Bakutana, it seems you and Charity, you are doing well. How do we do it? My woman is becoming a problem. There is a friend of mine who came and said, he was reported that he goes in a bar and drinks up to 3 a.m.
Yes.
When I asked the guy, I was like, you guy, God has given you everything. Why do you do this? He said, my woman is a lion. When I'm coming home like this, he stays in an upstairs, in a flat.
Yes.
That the woman starts to be at the door. I say, hey, you have come. So you are coming from where? Some women are like judges in their homes, but you should know how you treat your... They are interrogators. You are not a CID person. Give peace of mind this man. You have found us adults, and therefore once you agree, like for me personally, we have written down a vision. We have a family vision to be the best wonderful couple in Kampala Metropolitan of our generation. We have even a mission by God's grace to always add value to people and to ourselves. Peace of mind is a choice. It is not a human right. Some people may be rich when they are doing badly. Then we have the core values that guide us with our children. My daughters normally remind me, Say, Daddy, one of our core values is to go out, storage. So I have to look for
Going out is a value.
hey, that's peace of mind. And then we have even a written philosophy. Together we can as a family.
Together we can as a family.
Family is the greatest thing. As Mugishamuntu talks of time. And discipline. I like that man. Whenever he's talking, he talks of his ring. Hey, dear man, if you want to do much better, always treasure this ring. Ring is very paramount. When there is no any woman who wants to be used. So when she sees that you are engaged, she will not come closer to you. So that's how. Okay, even if they come,
when they
and
see the ring, actually they come.
they think you have experience.
Because they say for you must be more a very responsible man. By the time you walk down the aisle with the woman,
for 15 years now.
Number two, for you will hide the relationship. So you are equally not safe.
Dear men who have relationship in Kampala flats and apartments and forget about children at home, you will have a big answer. You have a big case to answer before God. It is very bad to find that you buy meat for the concubine and you forget about your children at home who are sweating on G-nuts, on beans. If we can get you, you are the people who are failing Uganda to go in the middle income status. And therefore we must be responsible. A person who is not responsible at family level should not hold the public office.
A person who is not responsible at home should not hold a public office.
What are you inspiring?
I just feel like that should be the side note of this program. A person who is not responsible at family level should not hold public office.
You have failed the
Please
family.
look directly into that camera.
Yes.
And specifically share your parting shots with your fellow policemen, especially the traffic policemen and those ones in anti-riot police, whose ego can sometimes overwhelm us, the citizens. What are your parting shots to those men as we close the program?
Dear senior comrades and cadres who are making sure that the country is safe, I know you are doing great work. People are sleeping when you are awake, but always remember that we are also human beings. Our doctrine of Uganda Police Force is based on, is hinged on community policing, and therefore police no muntu wa bulijjo. Public is our bosses. Ensure that you respect human rights. Listen to them. Listen to these taxpayers, because whatever we are putting on and feed on is through the tax that they pay. And therefore, if we remain more pro-people, we remain more ethical, we know that we are human beings in uniform, which I think on a larger, I don't know why you zeroed down on traffic and anti-riot, but even you rioters, kindly, you know that we are police officers. We are also human beings, fathers of somebody, in-laws of somebody, brothers of somebody. Let us have that humanity. We don't be taken over by our appointments. We don't be taken over by our ranks, but rather remain human beings, and all of us will remain Ugandans. Because we are here to help you. They normally say garbage in, garbage out. Whenever police is recruiting, give us children who are well behaved. If you give us one who is a problem at home, he will come in police and become a problem.
Because we think police fight, so we give you fighters.
No, you see, that's why we come here to apologize for their...
running after their mothers in the village.
Police as an institution is okay, but individuals at the individual level are the ones who are a problem. Do you know that now I have started me as an instructor? I've requested my boss that allow me, wherever I find policemen, I teach them a topic called the role of family stability in achieving a professional police force. And I take them through that, and they tell us, hey, it is already too late, what should we do? I say, you can pick from there. So we are doing a lot with the new management and the IGP and everybody. We hope one day we shall be the best for the best in Africa.
Thank you very much, Afande, Senior Superintendent of Police, Jackson Mucunguzi, for sharing with us your nuggets of wisdom on this all-important topic of the hidden cost of ego in family leadership.
Yes.
Gentlemen, you have heard it all. Ego is okay. Ego simply means that sense of self-worth, a sense of self-esteem, a sense of importance, knowing that you are important, you matter, you are worth something precious. That is ego. It's okay. Each one of us has a level of ego. What we've been talking about today is to ensure that we keep it in the right estimates.
Yes.
Is to ensure that we don't inflate our ego. Is to ensure that we don't overestimate our importance.
Yeah.
That is what we've been talking about today. And to know that as a man, once you are having a negative ego, it affects the way you lead your family. A man is supposed to be a mentor, a model, and a minister to his family. You're supposed to guard, guide, and govern your family. But it will be a big challenge. It will be super problematic and catastrophic for you to lead your family out of a background or a platform or a basement rock of a highly inflated negative ego where you say you know it all, your word is final, you can't be advised, once you speak, the others should keep quiet. That is not leadership. That is assault, and it is punishable by the law. You and I can choose to be better leaders in our families. It is very possible. And I really encourage you, my brother, to start today from where you are and tame your ego. As for you, the wife who is watching, do not use this program as a weapon against your husband. Don't start to say, you have to tame your ego. What? No, we were not giving you a weapon against your husband, our dear brother. Please, if you also have a sense of inflated negative self-importance and ego as a wife, as a woman, it is a high time you thought about it and you decided to be a suitable helper. A wife, not a knife. Otherwise, you will turn your husband into a hammer. As you can see, this is a partnership. It has to be a godly kingdom partnership between a husband and a wife. That together you love one another, you respect one another, you hold hands and face the world together. That if anything is going to come in between you, you come as much close together as possible and you handle it together. You have a shared mutual enemy. Do not help the enemy against your marriage. Humility is important in the family. Until next time, live exemplarily, love authentically, and lead relationally. This has been the Inspired Family Leader Program. Men, who are you?